culture in South Africa is that it's kind of trying to work out where you guys are sort of almost mentally. By that I mean, a lot of people are saying you've had a difficult series against the British and Irish Lions. Does that mean you battle hardened or battle weary? Can you guys set it straight? Where you at?
I think it's just exciting to see the growth that we had in that series. You look at the start point to the finish line, there was definitely some improvements that were made, and we're growing closer and closer together as a squad and better as a rugby team. So, we're really excited by the challenge this weekend, Ellis Park.
Yeah, basically exactly the same what Hoop said. I think we grew a lot in that series, and I guess our focus really is to just keep building and getting stronger, hopefully.
The whole sort of Ellis Park haven't won since 1963 or whatever it was. Is that a thing?
First time I've heard of it this
week. I don't think it's been talked about, but I think that's a bit of outside noise. We're just kind of focused on ourselves, keeping it really internal at this point. So yeah.
Marty says you both made your debut here 2 years ago. Is it a sort of special thing for you guys to be back here? Or?
It's definitely special to be back here together. Started my journey with Baby Bear 2 years ago, and to now full circle moment, be back here in the exact same hotel. Yeah. Hopefully getting a different result on the weekend, but it's really cool to see the journey that we've been on. There's been some highs and some lows, but yeah, we're continuing to rewrite that journey, and hopefully it's a really positive one come this weekend.
Your impressions on rugby in South Africa, simply because obviously there's been this whole sort of breakaway, to South African teams used to play Super Rugby, and it's not quite the same anymore. So what are your guys' impressions of playing rugby in the Republic as it were?
I mean, I think everyone in South Africa is very passionate about rugby. You can see that based on how they rally around their team when they get their results. So obviously it's very exciting to come here and play, and we know there'll be a lot of fans cheering for the South Africans, but hopefully we'll be able to, put on a show that makes our fans back home proud.
Zane, obviously, from a personal perspective, it's a team that prides itself on its scrummaging. What's that like as an experience? Obviously, we kind of, we keep going on about the bomb squad and these guys are going to do this, but from an opponent's perspective, what's it like to come up against the South African scrum?
I mean, obviously they've got a very good set piece, and I guess we just been talking about focusing on ourselves, making sure we get better with each session, with each game. And they've got a very good starting pack and very good bench pack, and our challenge is having to match that and making sure that quality across our starters, our bench, and even the boys not playing. It's hopefully the quality that we train is, uniform across the board.
Tom, we sort of see flip between blindside and sort of luck. Which do you feel more like?
Which do I feel more like? I just feel like a rugby player that's versatile. That's what I feel like. I call myself a Swiss Army knife because I don't really have a hat that I wear all the time. I kind of chop and change. So I like that. It's one of my strengths. It's something I don't want to change until I'm 30 years old and I slow down a bit, and then it's definitely only second row.
And if you do get chosen at blindside flag, obviously you'd be up against someone like Peter Stefton-Toy. Your impressions of him as a player, I don't know how many times you would have played him. I imagine
I think twice I've played him. He's an amazing calibre of player, World Rugby Player of the Year. And he's someone that, as a guy that can kind of cover a lot of positions, he's the perfect example of that. His versatility and expertise in that, from a line-out operator to a backline, back row defender, he's amazing. So he's someone that I really love challenging myself against guys like that and guys of his calibre. So, yeah, if I was to get an opportunity, it'd be very exciting.
Again, as a loose forward, what do you make of the loose trio that they've chosen? Because obviously they haven't gone the traditional route of a big 8 who's a link, a blind side, and a small open side. Instead, they've basically got 2 open sides. What are your thoughts in terms of what you think they're trying to achieve there?
Oh, they're probably trying to achieve some breakdown pressure, but we had a similar kind of predicament against the Lions, where you've got someone like Targ Byrne who's really good over the ball, and Tom Curry. So we know that we're just going to have our wits about us when it comes to the breakdown time and making sure that we're really getting our targeting right there, because obviously that's what they're looking for, a bit of turnovers. Obviously you've got Malcolm Marks, who's also a great pilfering threat. So yeah, they've still got some firepower, and so do we. So it should be good to see go head to head.
Thanks. Anything further? Yep. Online, please, guys.
I'm happy to jump in. Tom, sort of coming off that man of the match performance in that Test 3, can you just sort of relive how that moment for you and how special it is in your career to sort of rise on that stage and come away with that honour?
It was a huge moment. Watching back at the game, I think there was a few other guys that were probably more deserving. They were amazing, but it was definitely a team effort. I know it sounds cliche, but it was just good for me to get back in that starting jersey. It's the first time I've been back there since the World Cup. It's been a long road, on field and off field, so yeah, it was pretty special to be out there and just to get the win more than anything. It was great to get the win with the guys and be a part of a change room that had a great vibe about it.
Moments like that on home soil, we celebrating win over the Lions, does it make you sort of more motivated to come back in time for 2027 and make sure you're sort of making more memories like that in gold?
Yeah, I love the gold jersey. I love playing in it. My decisions to go overseas were definitely to improve myself as a rugby player, and I don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately. I don't know what's going to happen in my future, but I'll just keep making decisions based on being a good rugby player and hopefully playing in that gold jersey, because I absolutely love it.
I guess just one fun one for me, for Zane. With that prospect coming at the Springboks, that set piece dominance and the bomb squad they have, how much of your sort of preparation this week is revolving around how to sort of combat that full 80-minute sort of pressure that they will provide around that area?
Well, I mean, like I said, obviously they've got very good set piece focus across the board, and you never know if you're starting or not, so you prepare to play 80 minutes every week, and you prepare as best as you can, train as best as you can to, I guess, the top quality that you can. So I mean, obviously we're just going to focus on us, but we're definitely going to, I guess, focus on our set piece a lot and try and improve that.
I'll jump in here quickly. Quick one for Zane. Obviously, Aiden Ross is new into the squad. He's obviously been around the boys with following that last Lions test. What's he kind of been bringing in terms of the set piece, front row, and kind of what's the standard he's been setting? Obviously, he wants to try and push and get into that Wallabies squad too. What's he been bringing, and what experience has he kind of been doing there, both from a Reds perspective, but also Wallabies?
Yeah, big horse. He's a pretty no-nonsense kind of bloke. He kind of gets about his work very diligently, and yeah, he's definitely pushing his name forward. Like, he's not there floating around or drifting. He's on task at all times, and yeah, I think if you drop your standards, he'll let you know. But he's also very good like coach for someone going against him. He gave me some pointers when we were doing our training in Sydney, and yeah, very grateful for that. But yeah, he's very no-nonsense kind of bloke, and someone that you just love to have in the team.
And then just a second one from me, obviously, just more of a kind of a general question for both of you, but what kind of the headspace that the team has kind of been feeling in following the Lions? Because, I mean, there's a few changes, obviously, new coaching staff in there. I know for the forwards, we've Tom Donnelly in, a couple of boys also still included as well. What's kind of, is it kind of a case of day by day of focusing like that, or is it more just like, okay, we've got momentum here, let's build something?
I think obviously we're very proud of that win that we got, but I think we know that that's now behind us, and we have a very big challenge coming up with the Rugby Championship, and especially the South Africans this weekend. So I think it more so is that day-to-day, focusing on this Saturday, focusing on what we can do to improve ourselves the most that day. So.
Yeah, I think my favourite quote from Laurie Fisher is that we're in the business of getting better, and I think that's definitely the mindset that we're going in with at the moment. Just small little increments, small little baby steps, and you saw that throughout that test series. We were in the business of getting better, and we're just going to continue to strive to do that. And yeah, it's really nice and calm amongst the group, but we know we've got a lot to take on board mentally, and then from there we're just physically working. We just finished our brekkie, but we're about to get tucked into a big session, so yeah, I'm sure that'll be just another day of getting better.
I'll go, Tom. Can you talk a little bit about the inspiration of Will Skelton being in the pack? You play with Bobby B, but getting the chance to play with Will Skelton, he kind of went Hulk smash in that Lions series. How much did that lift you, and do you think you'll be able to take that forward into a battle with the game's best forward back?
Absolutely, I think he'd definitely be up for that challenge, and anyone who's picked in the jerseys alongside him will follow him into battle, that's for sure. So, no, it's great, mate. He's an enforcer, and that's what he's been doing for a long time now in the beautiful sport of rugby. So he's been, for want of a better word, he loves being that grub. He loves taking it to teams physically and making the gentleman's game a little bit more exciting. So we love playing with him, and he's just a physical presence. I've never felt so small. When I go over at the end of the game and give him a big hug, I feel like a little kid again. So it's always good.
And Whitey, at the other end of the scale, Whitey was saying after the Lions tour that no backward steps. There was a real concerted effort to kind of hold your ground in that third test. Intimidating place to play South Africa. They want to get on top of you as well in that space. So is that the mindset of the team now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got the Great Dane, Will Skelton, and then you got the little Jack Russell, and the Jack Russell's sometimes a little bit more fiery, and he's nipping at the heels of those boys. So he loves not taking a backward step, and as I said, whoever's picked in that gold jersey, that's the kind of spirit that we want to play with going forward, because you can see it kind of inspires a 23 on the field. And as much as we had a really good fan base back home on home soil, we know out here it's going to be heavily a green fan base, and we got to make sure that the 23 blokes in that circle are looking after each other, and we can't take a backward step. We can't afford to.
Thank you.
How tricky, Tom, is it tying that line? Like Big Will can get away with, I guess, starting a bit of niggle when he's that size, and Nick probably he might be starting fights that you guys need to finish. But like Will's shown that it is important to assert yourselves, but then you don't want to get distracted from starting meaningless niggle at the same time. Do you know what I mean? So how do you sort of go about that as a pack?
I don't think if you look at anything that Will does it's ever meaningless. It's always with intent. It's always just being physical, and we step out on that field as soon as you cross that white line. That's your intent, to physically impose yourself on the opposition. And we know that comes with a bit of a blue head as well. You've got to be really calm and stay in the moment. But the thing is that's really good is that we connect really well out on the field, and that's how we find that blue head. We are next job focused, and we come in and we gather ourselves, gather our thoughts, and we make sure that we know the next job at hand. We're going to attack that with the same ferocity.
And what is it that makes the Springboks pack so special in your opinion, either of you?
I guess you could say their depth and their just their intent, and that's something that we're hopefully building as a squad in Australia and in the Wallabies. I think it shows that boys can come into the squad and not miss a beat and fit in perfectly. So I think that's something that we're trying to build here, and I think we're building that very well.
Last couple, please, guys.
Tom, if I can just jump in. How much better prepared do you feel like you are going into a battle 2 years after making your test debut in Pretoria?
If I'm being honest, back then I was probably a boy. I'm not saying I'm a full-grown man. I can't grow a beard like Zane can, but I've definitely had a bit of professional footy under my belt, and it helps. Every bit of time in the saddle, and it's something that I kind of talk about a lot. Playing with the Brumbies, you develop a winning culture, and that's something that's really important. Just winning games of rugby, and then you come into an environment like this where everyone's really hungry to get those wins and process driven. As I said, getting better and better every day, and it's an amazing environment to be a part of. So yeah, you just compete with each other every day. And even last year when I wasn't getting many test matches under my belt, I felt that I was competing with the guys that were starting every day, and I was improving as a player. So every bit of time in the saddle is important.
Just second one from me. You're obviously going to Exeter. Is there a part of you that goes, I've just made it back, I've won a player of the match award in Sydney, and I'm heading off overseas soon? Like, how do you kind of grapple with heading and leaving the Wallabies dream potentially open a little bit when you're coming into this sort of kind of rich vein of form?
I think the decision I made at the time was a really good decision, and I still stand by that decision because I'm going to go over there and improve as a player. So right now I'm just focusing where my feet are, and right now my feet are in South Africa, and I've got a job to do here. Soon enough they'll be back home. I have a job to do there, and then I'll have a job to do in the Exeter jersey, and I'll pour every little bit of energy that I can into that team, improve as a player, hopefully improve that club, and then whatever my next journey is, I'll do the exact same thing. So I'll just keep focusing where my feet are. Right now, that's here in the green and gold.
Time for one more if there's something that hasn't been asked.
What was the reaction to Rassie Erasmus naming his team so early in the week, and even then seeing Sia Khaleesi playing at number 8, where he's sort of never played a test match before?
It was good. There's not much flowing on the Instagram over here because the time difference. So it was good to get a bit of conjecture and share it around with the team. Get a few boys talking. So it was nice.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.